Hello! This is the one episode rule, and I have suddenly noticed a distinctly husky quality to my voice. I'm not sure if I want to bring this level of intimacy to the podcast.
Husky.
Can
I'm
the
a
rest
little
of you-
husky.
Can the rest
My
of
body's
you
a husk. I'm an empty shell.
please introduce yourselves?
That was a botched landing for that joke, but I'm Blackle. Today I drank some free coffee machine coffee at work, and I think there was some detergent in there because my stomach feels all bubbly and it's not very good. It's not very good at all.
Detergent?
Detergent, yes. I think there was some detergent inside of the coffee machine that came into my coffee
God.
mug.
Uh-oh.
That's bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least I'll insert fizzy lifting drink here. Joke.
All right.
Yeah.
Somebody was doing huge crinkles in my living room, and
I don't think it was quick enough for him.
they were just rolling up a bag of dog food.
Big crinkles.
Audio hell.
I thought crinkles were some kind of disorder.
Joey, please introduce themselves.
Maybe this is just the ASMR episode where we all just get really close. My name is Joey. I am talking directly in your ear now. No, I can't. I can't.
My spine just slid out my anus.
Oh no!
Oh god!
You just killed Oliver.
I cut this episode together, Magpie.
Well, it's been good, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the One Episode Rule.
Hi everybody. I'm Emma. Today I, like a psychopomp, walked backwards into my apartment to lure my landlord in to show him the wall that he needs to fix. That's all I got. Yeah, it worked too. He was like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry."
Is that the wet wall?
Wasn't he on
It's
the
wet
phone
wall
too?
He was on the phone, and I made direct eye contact with him and raised my eyebrows and said no words to him. And I just started walking backwards, and he started following. And I've really never felt more powerful than I did in that moment.
That's so good.
So powerful.
That's the wall that
here.
That's the wall that flexes when you touch it, right?
That is the wall that just does the fucking like Nightmare on Elm Street thing where you can just like push your hand into it.
Oh my god.
That's terrifying.
It's not good. He like touched it and started laughing. He was like, "Wow, this is bad."
Oh my god.
I still don't understand how y'all didn't catch this on like viewing the place.
It wasn't soft when we got here.
Softened over time.
It's a feature of the house.
All right. I can tell by Joey's tone that this is going to go to a weird place, so we're going to move on. If any of you have bits you would like to do, I'm going to look up some anime news.
I just want to
tell
touch
us
the
about
juicy
more
wall.
of your fucked up dreams.
Oh my god.
This can be your new bit, like Blackle's fucked up dream segment.
Blackle's dream
You're
journal?
really putting me on the spot here. I'm trying to remember some notable dreams. Well, one time I had a dream where I ran out of memory and had to wake up.
Oh.
No, that you just ran out of memory.
No, that literally
Yeah, it
happened to
wasn't
me
a
where
dream.
like I dreamt that like I was like, because it's a weird implication, right? Because you'd think like if a robot ran out of memory, it would like crash to like unconsciousness, right? But like for me, it was like sleeping was work, and it's like it's an executable that's running on me, and if it crashes, I have to be awake. So it's weird that my default state is wakefulness and not sleeping.
It's not that your sleep crashed; it's your dream crashed.
Yeah, my dream crashed, and I had to wake up.
I think your dreaming was taking up so much of your CPU that
Yeah, pretty much.
It did that thing where you drag it around the screen, it's like a
and it does the like
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's what the noise it makes in my brain
That's
when it happens.
That's a straight up JoJo onomatopoeia right there.
It's scary.
I've got some anime news snippets if we would like.
Oh,
to
good.
examine some.
Yeah.
I bring you only the strangest things that I can find.
The delicacies.
Today's
This is good. I like
today's
this.
section ripped directly from the pages of Crunchyroll's publication.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just we'll
Oh,
get
it's
into
a
these
face roll.
we'll get into these if you're interested in any of them. First up, Akuma Shogun's mask from Kanukamen can be yours for the low price of 1 million yen.
Holy shit.
Divide by
Only-
100 in
That's a lot
my
of money.
head.
Like
That's-
$100,000.
It's
Isn't that
like
$10,000?
yeah. No, it's like 9,000
less than that,
approximately.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, but then you translate it back to Canadian and it all get offset.
and then yeah.
There are only 3 of the diamond coated reproductions.
They have diamonds on them.
They have diamonds on them or in them. I'm unsure.
So wait, what show is
Or
this
about them.
It's a
Next to them
it's a
on the
canoe-
table.
Kanuka Man.
Kanuka Man.
No, the
Otherwise known to America as Ultimate Muscle.
it's the show about the wrestlers.
Yeah, it
Oh.
aired on Kids WB. It was dubbed through 4Kids Entertainment. And it was just like really every single episode was bad to look at. And,
I don't know
it
if
was
we got that in Canada.
a strong part of my childhood.
Apparently these were created for the Kanukaman Fellowship 40th anniversary exhibition,
Wow.
which is fucked
God
up.
damn, it's old.
Anyway, let's move on to older. Let's see. Porter is celebrating another series' 40th anniversary by creating Gundam business accessories styled after Char, so you can have his big logo on your luggage.
Wow.
What exactly are the accessories that you can get with this logo?
You can get like a leather bag / briefcase sort of deal. can get a
Business
top-
wear, leather harness.
You can get a purse. It appears like they would call this a man bag, but it is a purse. You
That's
get
true.
wallets with Xeon stuff on them, which is I'm gonna be real here about the stuff. You probably shouldn't be like Xeon branded. They have uncomfortable like stylistic crossover with Nazis. Okay,
Oh,
I felt like that's where
no.
this was gonna go.
they're not
Uh-oh.
Nazis, and in fact, if any of you viewers are unfamiliar with the original series, there is a hilarious section where the big bad guy Zabi is talking to his son, who is the bigger bad guy, and refers to Hitler, and is just like, "You don't want to be like that." And that guy's and Giran is just like, Hitler. That sounds like a man with ambition.
Oh my god.
So-
Well,
Sizable yikes.
Oh, no.
I feel bad for old man Zabi, who's just like, "Really, son? Oh my god."
Yeah, just stares at him like,
Uh,
oh.
and I don't have time to get into this because it is so wild.
Okay.
But there is an article on the Crunchyroll publication about Kenny Omega, the wrestler,
yes.
talking about hand-drawn anime,
Yes, Kenny Omega.
which is pretty incredible.
Everything Kenny Omega does is amazing.
He just talks
It's
about it?
Yeah.
Kenny Omega is just like for those of you who are not like peripheral for some reason wrestling fans like Magpie and I are. Kenny Omega is just like a famous just big weeaboo wrestler, and I don't like everything that he does is crazy. Like the time that he came out to Undertale music, and
I saw
like
that.
the screen had like a fully rendered like a whole like Undertale introduction for him in the style of the game. It was fucked up.
I want to live their life.
That's very good. The name sounds familiar, though.
Anyway, that's what I have for anime news.
I just want to say that every single time you do this anime news segment, I just it just reminds me how out of the loop I am. about anime.
I
And
mean,
I've
about a
come
lot
to-
of things with me, apparently.
yeah,
I
I've
don't know,
come
I
to
just-
take this podcast as my like re-education system
Uh-huh.
to indoctrinate me.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really even get into like weeaboo shit in my normal life outside of the podcast anymore. I don't watch anime except for when I'm here.
Oh my god! So you
I mean,
And,
kind
made
of.
this special hell this is a special hell of your own creation for you.
and I come here and I just watch dog shit. You know?
Here's the thing is also kind of same because like I don't watch anime on my own because I'm like, oh, but what if we watch that on the show one day?
Yeah, same.
This
It's a problem.
This show has destroyed my ability to enjoy the subject of this show. And it's done it in 20 episodes with no viewers.
God.
By the way, 20th episode, y'all.
Yeah,
Oh,
wow,
Mazel.
holy shit.
Could be.
You
Anyway.
did it.
Emma, do you have an anime for us?
No, I don't have anything anymore.
Oh.
What?
Yes, I do have an anime. Here's my concern.
Uh-oh.
So, obviously, if you guys are celebrants of that good harvest time festival that we call Halloween, that's next week. Last week we did a little spooky thing. This week is Prelloween. It's the week before Halloween, and
That sounds like an Urban Dictionary like term to refer to a serious medical condition.
Listen, it is, and I have it. I've got a bad case of the Prelloweens, and the only cure is more cowbell. So my concern here is that the thing that I've selected is a first episode. It is also an only episode.
What?
Because I was gonna guess that it was either the episode's really short or it was NC-17. But this is the first time we've had a one-off.
This is our first and last episode.
It does fit the.
We never did say first episode. We only said one episode. So.
That's true, and there is it is the one episode.
Did it get
and
canceled
hopefully
or something?
it rules. No, it is a short film called Kakurenbo, Hide and Seek.
But then
Okay.
it's not a show. It was a short film.
It's a show. Shut up.
It's
too late
a
to go
show.
back.
It's the length of a show, so
Like-
it's fine.
Like, how about this? Like, do next episode we watch like the first half of like a Japanese like movie? This is a slippery slope here, guys.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
Don't
think
listen to me.
I don't.
We're gonna
I
do
don't
this.
think it is because it's a short film that's the length of a regular episode, so it's
Okay.
fine. Also,
That's
it's on Kiss Anime, so and it says full episode list, and it's one episode.
I mean,
So,
Okay.
hard to argue with that.
hard to
That's-
argue with that. I think.
Harder to argue with the fact that we are already recording. I have to watch something.
I just want to say something which is really confusing to me. Isn't Halloween in like 2 days?
No, it's
No,
Like 3 days?
no.
No,
Halloween is on the
it's like a-
31st
it's like
every year.
I just
so
need a
on
little bit more convincing. Can you say that with more conviction?
Sorry, what I mean is Halloween's on the 31st every year.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Every year it's the 31st.
I
Is this-
understand.
Is this problem caused by like Canadian Thanksgiving or something?
Yeah, it's
What's
probably
going?
like a Canadian thing. I don't know.
When is Canada
Canada's
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving. I mean, Canada's Halloween is on the same day as American Thanksgiving.
What the fuck do you mean?
That's not true.
This is
That
gonna
sounds-
piss me off.
That
This is
sounds
gonna
like
piss me
bullshit.
off
The reason
if we
why we
spend
have-
too much time.
The reason why we put our Thanksgiving earlier was that it wouldn't interfere with Halloween, which is on the
Mm.
same day as your Thanksgiving.
Then why not
That's
just fucking?
untrue.
The liner notes for this episode have been decided, and you'll see them when they come up next week because of this statement, Blackle, and I want you to remember that.
Okay.
So let's go watch this show. All
I
right.
accept my
Yeah.
All
punishment.
right, let's
Let's do it.
fucking trick or treat.
All right, we're back.
All right, we're back.
All right, we're
impression,
back.
Guys,
We're back.
what are we thinking? 2
Um,
thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. What are we thinking?
okay. First of all, before I say the shit I'm going to say, the film is quite stylish. It's it's got a very good aesthetic.
Yes.
Now I'm going to point out some plot inconsistencies.
Okay. Do you want to do the blurb first, or do you want to?
Let's do the blurb first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of a blurb. Kakurenbo, Hide and Seek, is a Japanese cel-shaded anime short film written and directed by Shuhei Morita. The film entails the game of Otokoyo, literally Manhunt, which is a version of hide and seek played by children wearing fox masks near the ruins of an abandoned Kowloon-inspired city. The children who play this disappear, believed to be spirited away by demons. Kakurenbo follows Hiroka, a boy who joins the game with hopes of finding his missing sister, Syrincha. Okay.
Is that Syrincha?
Is that Syrincha?
Is that
Syrincha sounds like
Is that Sriracha?
looks exactly like Syrincha.
Anyway, I'm gonna get onto some shit. This is some old Adult Swim shit. I'd actually seen part of this.
Oh, swag.
It aired way back in the day.
Yes,
Yeah,
2005,
I
I
saw the
believe.
copyright thing at the end. Yeah, that said 2005.
So it is like 15 years old.
Yeah.
But
it's old.
doesn't look that old. Just impressive. So yeah, it's some old Adult Swim stuff. They used to air all sorts of weird shit. Just sort of whenever. I kind of miss having cable TV and watching Adult Swim for that
Well, there's
reason.
still the
Yeah.
Adult Swim YouTube channel.
I suppose there's that. Anyway, my main issue is they described this game, and the rules of this game are whack because there appears to be no endpoint.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like we know what the plot is, but at the beginning there is no endpoint described to the game. There's no there's no like reward or anything. So why So as what I wrote in my notes to describe this whole set of feelings, which was this is obviously like a supernatural game, and you know the rules of supernatural games, which are, well, I don't know. I'll get into this in a moment, but what I have written is Otokoyo, just die?
Just die.
That appears to be what the end goal is. And
Otokoyo, eat shit.
there's a
Like,
couple of childhood games from the US that are actually kind of similar in that they don't have any benefit. They just have bad shit that can happen to you.
Yeah, I remember when we played hide and seek, and then whoever got found got bludgeoned to death by my Uncle Jimmy.
Yeah, they just got ground up by a human-sized Daruma.
Yeah.
One
But,
thing I did
talking
draw
about-
a connection between this and like all those like ritual creepypastas. Where,
Well, I'm
like,
thinking about Bloody Mary specifically.
Yeah.
You know that old game where you go and turn off, what is it? You turn off the lights in your bathroom and you say Bloody Mary into the mirror, and then she comes out and kills your ass. Like, why would you do this? Is a good question.
Okay, here's the thing: is you do it because you're like, okay, well, sorry about so and so, but I'm not like that. It's not gonna be me.
Yeah.
Everyone does this because they're like, okay,
Rip to Syrincha, but I'm different.
That's why
yes,
we have-
exactly. That's the meme I was going for, and I'm glad you remembered because I couldn't.
That's why we have 10 Grizzly Man movies of Grizzly Men who've come after being like, it's not gonna be me next time.
It's not gonna be
Grizzly Man 2. I got it.
I got it this time. Don't worry about me.
We're talking about Werner Herzog in the before we started. But
Yeah, we started talking about Grizzly
Also,
Man.
weren't they talking about like literally rescuing missing children? Like it.
Yeah.
Felt like
Like
Well,
exactly
part
one
of
of
the
them were
goal.
saying that.
two of them
So-
are interested in finding the missing kids. The other
the
5
others were just
have no
adrenaline junkies.
Uh-huh. So
What-
the impression that I got was that that Dean Venture and Yu-Gi-Oh were there, because that is who they were in the English dub.
Yeah, it's Michael
Centerniclus, I think. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, a
And,
lot of these
and
voice,
good old Dan
voice
Green.
actors, a lot of these people were in the Summer Wars dub too, which is where I
Yeah.
recognize them from.
Yep, these are all Funimation folks, or not Funimation, for
And I
kids,
was-
which is the opposite, some would say.
Who
Really
was the
fucking
kid that kept?
disappointed.
Who was the
Sorry.
kid that kept going? Boss,
Boss.
boss.
Plus!
I think the best part about this dub is that it's like Michael Centerniclus, Veronica Taylor, who's Ash Ketchum, Dan Green, Sean Schemmel, Tom Wayland, whoever that is. Like I don't even know who that is.
Would you like me to find out?
Sure.
The
But
kids'
anyway,
voices are so unconvincing. It took me out of it.
well, yeah,
I mean,
because
it was.
that's just how they are.
But in the Summer Wars dub, the kids had kid voices.
The guy we're talking about here is mostly a voice director, which is why
Yeah,
I
I
haven't heard of
figured
it.
that was probably the thing. But yeah, so the impression that I got was that Dean Venture and and Yu-Gi-Oh were there to find Dean Venture's sister. Goku was there to prove to his friends that he wasn't afraid of monsters, and then the other two were there because their boss said so. And the twins didn't say a single line of dialogue, so I don't know why they were there.
The twins were there because they ain't afraid of nothing. And
They
The
wanted
twins
to
were
beat
there
the
to-
shit
to-
out of some demons.
they are there to fuck shit up, and
Yeah.
they are the only ones I respect.
It appears that they
twins-
failed pretty hard, though.
The twins came there to serve looks and wreck shop, and I think they did both. Although they did
They
go
have a
ahead and
lot of
die,
hair.
though.
Yeah, they did.
They did go ahead and still die.
They did.
Yeah. I did write down that I found that this anime was what did I write? I said a boring exercise in misery. I think I just want to go on the record to say I mostly hated this.
Okay.
Blackle, you are just
Really?
really turning out the hatred.
Ooh.
I
the
know, I'm
past few
sorry,
episodes.
but I just have to
I-
go with my heart.
I loved this a lot. I thought it looked really, really cool, and even though it was like sort of a thin plot, it was a short film, which I think
Yeah.
excuses part of
I
that.
saw the demons and were like, "Oh my god, it's bionicle."
I thought it was cool.
They
I
looked
thought
really
it was
cool.
Those demons were rad.
Oh,
You're
my
wrong.
God.
This is the only time
thought
I'm going to directly come out against you. They were rad. You're wrong.
They were
Oh my
cool.
God.
They were mechanical, classical Japanese demons, and I thought that was a really cool.
They
Probably
reminded me
symbolized
of.
something. I don't know.
They
Who
reminded
knows?
me of.
Symbolize anything.
They reminded me of fucking Yoshimitsu from Soul Calibur.
Hell yes.
They're incredible. I love them.
They're very
thing
good.
One
we
thing
talk
that
about their
immediately struck me.
names?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I have their names in front of me, and I have which ones they correspond to. If you want me
The
to read
liver
it.
taker,
Yeah, we got
the
liver
oil
taker.
taker, the
Liver
child
taker.
taker, and the blood taker.
Really
They-
unimaginative names.
Well, they sound a lot cooler in Japanese. It would be Kimotori, Chitori, Aburatori, and Kotori, which are cool names. But
All
then
I
Oh,
in,
they-
needed to do is judge this on what was given to me, Emma. I cannot translate back to Japanese in my head.
it's fair.
I understand now that they have like sort of it's kind of a sound theme going on there.
hmm
When they read them, it was just like this is so random.
Liver
Yeah.
taker. Oil taker. What is he gonna do? Go to my truck and like take the oil out?
He's gonna
He
take
had
your
like a
oil.
car.
He's gonna take your oils.
my oil.
He
He's
had
gonna
like a car
siphon
and a
your
little-
gas.
He's gonna grind you up. He's gonna put you in the hydraulic press, and the finish man is gonna press all the black oil out of you.
Yeah,
He's-
black oil.
He's gonna take a big tube and he's gonna suck all the unleaded right out of your Kia Soul, and he's gonna drive his fuck wagon around.
That's
He did.
that one is the pair, by the way. That's the ones that, and both of them have the heads that look like the idol from Indiana Jones.
Yeah, the little
Uh-huh.
gremlin guy.
The little guys with the big car.
Yeah. Yeah, who brought their fucking whip to hunt these
They
children?
they got that interior crocodile, alligator. So,
Movie theater.
so
One thing I noticed when I So to continue the hate train, I wanted to say that I hate
No.
the animation. I hated the dub.
You hate the animation?
I hated the animation, and one thing that like struck me immediately, and I think this is just me being a cynic, which sucks because I don't like to be a cynic. But I just noticed that like the only time we ever see the kids is when they have their mask on, which I mean like is a strong aesthetic decision, but at the same time it just means they don't have to animate the faces.
I don't think that's not even it. That's just because this whole film takes
I
place
just
during
thought,
the
oh,
game.
clever. Lucky
think-
them.
I think it's a fun shortcut, but I also do think that I don't know. I feel like
Okay.
the aesthetic
Granted-
wouldn't have worked as well if they didn't have the
no,
masks.
it's fair. But granted, they pulled it on the clutch because at the very end, where like they animated like the mask transforming into the evil mask, that was really well done, and I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
And I liked the very like okay, I liked the last like 20% of it. Everything before that really sucked.
I
don't know
completely
about that.
disagree. I think that the whole thing was fun.
But
I'm so sorry that you hate Fun Blockle.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm really sorry that you see good things and you have glasses that turn them into bad things.
Jesus. We can't do another Blackle is Wrong episode. We already did that
We
joke.
can and will.
It's gonna become
Blackle
like
is Wrong 3.
it's gonna seem like bullying after a while.
It's not bullying because I like water off my duck's back. I'm fine. Like I
Off
I
of
just
your
have strong
duck's back?
opinions.
Hang on.
But,
I have a duck and it's got a hydrophobic back and there's water going onto it. It's coming right off.
Anyway, let's get back on the subject here. Is that
Okay.
I'll give you one thing as a piece of horror media, which I'm actually probably more familiar with than anime. To be honest, I got into horror first, but as a piece of horror media, this is not terribly effective, although it's visually striking. Except for the setting. The setting itself is the scariest thing about it. It's not the demons or the nine-tailed fox at the end, which should be named Oshira-sama, if I remember correctly. But it's the city, because it says in part of this blurb that it's based on Kowloon, which is a nice way of saying it's based on the Kowloon walled city, which was, until it was knocked over, probably the most terrifying place on Earth. And that
the
it
most
was
densely populated place probably
ever
for all the time.
It was, if you're unfamiliar, viewers, you should look it up because it's fascinating. But B, what it was a block of I don't know, 13 or 14, maybe 15 high-rise apartment buildings that had been packed in so closely together that you could walk from one window to another. So it essentially became one super enclosed city.
Holy shit.
My understanding was it was like exactly 1 square kilometer or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was a big block of just dense building, and like I feel like there were stories of like people who had like tried to go through the windows and fell into where a bunch of people threw their garbage and just sank down into the garbage and disappeared forever and shit like
horrifying.
that.
They gone.
I have had nightmares about the Kowloon walled city.
Oh my
before.
god.
If you look at an image of like the walled city from I think if you like go on Google image search, I'm just gonna do it so I don't make a fool of myself. How do you spell Kowloon?
You'll have more success with just.
I've already made a fool of myself. But what strikes me about the image is that it almost has like the same level of intricacy as like an integrated circuit board.
It's a lot more.
I get that vibe.
It's a lot more than 13 or 14. Oh, this is like 30 or 40 apartment buildings.
It's
So
amazing.
scary.
It is a nightmare
Better just
place.
postage in general.
I think having that background makes this scarier.
Yeah, it does. Like,
and
I love the aesthetic. What I was reminded of was, do you guys remember that game that came out called
Sorry, called what?
The Last Guardian?
Oh yeah.
I do remember.
That's the vibes that I got from
I can see that.
the building aesthetics, because it's like
Mhm.
a bunch of like creepy abandoned like really tall, and you don't know. It's just that kind of feeling.
Some of the
that I
demons
got
kind of
from it.
moved similar to the beast from Last Guardian
Yeah.
as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which was your favorite? Which was your favorite horrible mechanical?
The Blood Taker.
Child snatcher. Oh, you like the blood taker, huh?
Yes.
The dog
was-
one.
Yeah, he was big and chunky, and like he did this like weird like, like his head would jiggle,
Mhm.
and you think he's moved slow, but then he runs at you really fast, and you're like, holy shit, this is actually like, oh my.
He kind of reminds me of a. He kind of reminds me of a Chinese parade dragon.
Yeah.
That was definitely the vibe that I was getting.
I liked it.
I'm split between that one and the oil takers because they are kind of hilarious.
Oil takers
were
were very funny. I was into the liver taker. I don't know what it was about just like the aesthetic of the like 3 arms and the wheel. It was just I don't know. I think that this movie's aesthetic was like rock solid.
It's very good. It's like being hunted by evil puppets. It's
yeah. It watched a lot like now this might be just like way too niche of a picture for me to paint, but it felt like one of those like you're like up like way late and you've got like VH1 on and this like nobody band you've never heard of has like a music video and you just get sucked into it. There's something about like the atmosphere that just like
watch
makes
it and have a dissociative episode.
Yeah, you just like watch unblinking.
It's one of those music videos that doesn't really go with the song, and it's like a really weird one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's so cool, and you're like, it ends, and you're like, that's it. It's just 3 minutes, but it's not 3 minutes this time, folks. It's 25.
It's Tom Waits appearing at 3 a.m. on MTV with What's He Building in there. Or Army Ants, which is arguably worse because it's about bugs. And it's scary. Bugs are scary.
I have a piece to say about this, which is like my critique, like my new.
All right.
Oh my god.
And
Sure.
it's gonna be really fucking what's the word? You guys are gonna try to I think that you guys are gonna like jump through my computer screen and literally strangle me when I say
We're
this.
gonna get you.
Okay.
You're gonna get me.
We're
And what I
waiting to
said, what I
pounce.
think is they should get rid of the oil taker and like there should be no monsters in this movie.
No.
All right.
I think
all
they
right,
should get
where you
rid of
going?
that, and the kids should just go disappearing like one by one, and they're trying to figure out who is doing it, and it's that girl.
Okay.
No.
But
That's
no,
my
wait.
opinion.
That's
Because I think the other demons just sort of like confuse the story in a way. That's my opinion.
Fair, I guess.
that's a good premise. However, that is a different film.
Okay, fine.
It is.
but
It
whatever.
is a lot different because I think that in this. Sorry for getting all our Neon Genesis Evangelion bonus episode on you guys, but it felt like the idea of like the demons visually being like traditional Japanese mythology creatures, but built out of like just these huge industrial monsters, like monster machines. It felt like that was the point, was that like we were supposed to be kind of like disgusted and fascinated by this like industrialization of tradition.
I was just
Maybe.
really bored.
That's a good take.
Sorry.
Well, yes, we've
it's okay.
all gathered that. My counterpoint to your critique, which by the way that's a good movie too.
It is solid.
Of course, you would be the one to see a film and then come up with an idea for an arguably better film. but
I'm
I
glad
think,
you guys aren't strangling me right now.
I honestly think the plot of this film was actually written to accommodate the demons in the setting.
Yeah.
They appear to be
my thoughts on that is that what the vibe I get from this movie is I'm almost like certain that this just makes me sound like an asshole now, but I'm almost certain that this was an even shorter like college animation short, and then it was extended to be like a quote unquote feature length short film. That's the vibe I get. Like it feels like it was a 5-minute like demo reel from someone like as their final piece or final project, and then they're like, oh, this is good, let's make it like longer, and they did, and I think it shows in terms of like from the story department.
I completely disagree. I don't think that it felt stretched thin. I do feel like the I do feel like the one by one like kids getting hunted down did feel a little bit like formulaic and almost like it was like I almost felt like it was like an inevitability. Like obviously this is
Yeah.
a horror thing about hide and seek, so these things have to happen. But
Right.
I think that overall, like just the atmosphere won out over the like cliche. I don't know. I really liked it a lot.
I do agree that like the visuals of like the location, like I wrote in a few times, like, oh wow, the big tower in the middle was really visually striking, and
Yeah.
like the kids like being like harvested for juice, their little juices,
The little juice box.
slurp, was also visually interesting, but I think the plot really broke it for me.
I don't know.
My thing is that if they didn't have the monsters like you're suggesting, then you would just automatically think that it was the girl, right? Like I liked the whole oh she's secretly the fifth demon thing because that I wasn't like really expecting that.
Hmm.
Okay, because I was.
But,
Listen, not all of us are geniuses. Some of us
I'm not
go
a
into things
genius.
to
I'm
have
just
fun.
like, I don't know. I don't know why the last few the shows we watched I've not liked them because normally I like random. Like why am I stuck liking that one weird like demon wife anime and I can't enjoy this?
That's
What's
true.
wrong with me?
You-
I think I'm just
now I will give you that I'm about 7 episodes deep into Demon Slayer and it's gotten very boring.
Oh no.
yeah, I keep seeing you on Twitter yelling about why they gotta look like that, which is really odd.
They're all so ugly. Every single character in that show is incredibly ugly. Tanjiro looks normal-ish.
I don't necessarily get that. I've seen characters from that show, and they seem like bland, but not ugly.
This is so cathartic for me.
They are bland to ugly. There are some cute designs. The demons are all bad to see. The main villain has a fedora, and that's what I have to say about it.
Oh my god. One like getting back to this, I do have a bunch of errant thoughts that I think. Does anyone else have any errant thoughts they'd like to share about like the show?
I have like my like list of funny thoughts from this, but you should go first.
By all means.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, well, one thing I'm not gonna say this because this is a reference to what we talked about before we started recording, but one thing that I thought was good was I thought the masks were pretty cute. And one thing that made me like that got me pondering for a few minutes was who supplied the masks?
This is a very good question.
Did they go to a store? Because they're really like well designed.
They went to
and, like,
Spirit Halloween.
They all came in a set. They all went together to Spirit Halloween. Even the creepy girl like tagged along because they needed to be like all like. That's one of the rules is that if the masks are not aesthetically consistent, it won't work.
They need to have consistency, but be unique to the individual wearer.
Yeah.
The fat kid needs the fat fox mask.
The underbite mask.
Otherwise, it won't work. The other thing that I noted, like the other thing that really like rubbed me the wrong way was the whole thing about the hot dog cart. And
that was one of my
was like
funny
so
thoughts.
weak.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's my fault of the dub. I understand that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a fault of the translation, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And also the fault of Sean Schemmel sounds hilarious when he's trying to be a mean character.
Yeah. Also, I love how I'm almost like, was it a hot dog cart in like the original Japanese, or was that a localization just for us English speakers?
I'm sure it was not a hot dog cart.
Oh my god, that's just so funny to me.
Dogs.
I don't know. I don't know. Japanese people do like hot dogs. I see a New York hot dog in every Yakuza game I play.
Hot dogs.
The hot dogs.
The other thing I noticed, which made me wonder, was why the big kid had earrings.
Wow, he's a punk.
Fashion.
Also, this whole thing's a metaphor for capitalism.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's what it felt like.
If you're being harvested for juices, it's a metaphor for capitalism. That's just the rules. When you when you go to Film Study 101 and you open your book, that's the first page, is that juices equals capitalism.
Yeah, that's true. It does say juices equals capitalism.
But what about our precious bodily fluids?
This is the
bodily fluids.
This is the perfect time for me to say one of my funny thoughts that I had was like, This is just Monsters Inc. but worse.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Oh my god, this is a
Joey,
grim,
that
dark
almost-
reimagining of Monsters Inc.
Joey, that almost knocked me into the floor bodily.
I'm so glad.
Holy shit, that was good.
Oh god.
That's so. Oh my god. Wait, so who's
Yeah.
Sully?
That of me, I'm Sully.
Liver taker.
None of us-
Liver taker is
Liver
Sully.
taker.
Liver taker is Sully.
Oh my god.
None of us are. Let's face it. No one's gonna say anything funnier than that for the rest of the
Yeah,
episode.
we should just wrap
Yeah, we
up.
might as well wrap it up. I mean, honestly.